Hey everyone, and welcome back to finally a new video. Now today I'll be doing a figure study in my sketchbook, and I got this picture off Pinterest. I actually don't remember the source link or anything because I think I had this picture for like over a year now. But yeah, when I was at work, I decided to when I was on break, I just decided to sketch this, and I actually really liked how it turned out, and I thought that I would do a video on it. And speaking of work, it's pretty much been the reason I haven't been uploading as much as I would like to this summer, because I've been working like 35 hours a week from 8:30 to 4 in the afternoon. And since I work at a day camp as a lifeguard, I'm constantly outside, burning in the heat. And yeah, you can just imagine that when I get home, I'm just basically burnt out. I go in my bed and I basically do nothing. But yeah, this picture was done in a Moleskine watercolor sketchbook, and right now I'm outlining. The sketch was done with a Prismacolor Col-Erase in rose, and right now I'm outlining with a Prismacolor Premier pencil in, I think it's chocolate. Yeah, I think that's what it was. So for this study, I didn't necessarily do ultra realism. It's still pretty stylized in terms of the anatomy, but it's still, I still used a bit of it's more realistic than I would usually go for. And I thought that it would be fun that after this video, probably not next week, but a few weeks after, maybe just 2, I'd do a female version, well not version, but a female body study, because that's something I actually need to improve on. Now jumping into watercolor, the skin tone, basically what I did is I mixed yellow ochre, a red color, and I added some white and a lot of water until I just mixed colors until I got the skin tone that I wanted. That's what I usually would do for skin tone, but for this one I wanted him to be a bit darker, so I added a bit of brown. And yeah, in the beginning of the painting process, it was just a complete disaster. I did not let the water dry on his face first, so when I added the black, it just bled into his skin, so that spot is gonna stay there until the end of the video. And since the whole page was wet and I had paint on my hands, I just smeared it throughout the painting. So I thought that this was just going to be a complete disaster, but to my surprise, I ended up really liking the way it turned out. And the brush I'm using is a brush that came with my Cotman watercolor set. I think it's I know it's a round brush, but I forgot what size it is. But it's a fairly small. And I used that and a Cotman filbert watercolor brush for some areas. Now I'm adding in the shading with some blue. And I could have made the skin tone look a lot smoother, but I thought that it would be more fitting for just the overall aesthetic, since looking at the background, I thought it would be more fitting if it was just a little bit rougher looking, so I didn't mind the fact that it was grainy looking. And plus the texture of the sketchbook is pretty rough, so it all tied up together. There's also a few areas on this painting, especially on the left pec and on the bicep, which I am going to be struggling a lot, as you will see. I'm just gonna keep like adding paint, lifting that up, adding more paint, lifting that up, lifting paint, lifting paint, lifting paint, and lifting paint. It wasn't until like the very end that I actually was satisfied with how everything turned out, especially with the shading. For some reason I actually struggled a lot with shading on this painting, but at least it ended up looking pretty nice, and also gave myself the liberty of exploring with colors. Now here the footage is a bit odd because my main camera died, so because I didn't want to wait for it to charge, I just took my iPad, I set it up on my table, and I just recorded it like this. It's a bit awkward and a bit lazy on my part, but I just wanted to paint. Because usually when I'm in a painting, I like to finish it there, because if I take too long, I'm just gonna give up on it and never revisit it. Which was the case with one of my like experimental digital art. If you saw in January, I made this character design thing, and I actually never got around to finishing it, and now looking at it today, I just really don't like it. Like the coloring and stuff. I might revisit it someday, but I'm gonna start from scratch because I don't like the style at all. I know what I was going for, it was more like a digital like lineless style, but I just need way more practice than that. And it just looked awful. So here I'm pretty much finishing up the watercolor details as much as I can. And then more fun with watercolor mistakes, because I'm just impatient. And now I'm pulling out my colored pencil. I'm just gonna wait for the paper to dry a bit. And I'm using the Prismacolor Premier. This is my 150 set, but I pulled out basically all the non-archival colors. So I have about like 90 to 100 left of the 150 set. And I don't actually remember the colors I was using. I know I was using slate gray as blue. I was using some sort of like desaturated olive color. I was using cream, which is the yellow color, and white, the basic white pencil, and the chocolate colored pencil as well, and another type of a very dark desaturated yellow. And that is pretty much all the colors I use to shade everything. So yeah, usually I would not use greens or yellows in my skin tones, but when I used it on this painting, I just thought that it looked so good that I actually now want to use it a bit more in portraits and stuff. So yeah, overall I think figure studies like this, and just like allowing yourself to experiment in your sketchbook, actually allows you to discover things you like more. And especially with this painting, there's a lot more that I want to add to my actual style. For example, like just using different colors and yeah, basically just colors. One thing that I actually didn't really like is when I went over the hair with colored pencil, I don't think it turned out very well. I should have just left it as it was with watercolor, but oh well. And if you're wondering what I'm using to blend my colored pencil, I explained that in, well, I didn't explain it, but I also used it in my last video, the color pencil comparison video. And it is Gamsol, odorless mineral spirits. Basically what it does is it dissolves the colored pencil and yeah, it binds it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.